welcome back to Football Forecast, and in today's video we're doing my Aston Villa Manchester United combined 11, and this is going to be based off players that are match fit and available for this game, as well as people that are not at AFCON. Now this combined 11 is very difficult to do. I've decided to do a 3 at the back because both sides neither have like excellent wingers, and I actually think sort of the Manchester United system with like a left 10, right 10, and then sort of wing backs to an extent sort of suits both sides. It's going to look a bit weird, but I think it was the sort of the fair way to do this. So starting off with the keeper, and we are unaware if Emi Martinez will be available for Aston Villa in this game. I have decided to nominate as the Villa keeper, and for Manchester United I've nominated Lamans. I think Lamans has started alright so far for United. Martinez does have a mistake in him at points, but he does also make some crucial saves for Villa and sort of keeps them at games at points. Lamans actually made some crucial saves as well against Bournemouth, but I think if you just sort of look at the class of the keeper, Martinez does deserve to be in this combined 11. I do think he is, though, an incredibly overrated keeper. I can't believe he won the best keeper in the world sort of multiple years in a row, the Yashin Award, because I really don't think he's sort of anywhere near that. I don't even think he's sort of in the top 2 categories of keepers in the world. Right wing back position, and Manchester United have Amad Diallo and Mazraoui on international duty, which means I will be nominating Diallo versus Cash. And Matty Cash has been superb for Aston Villa so far this season. And I think he's really turned around his form and turned into a very solid right back, one of the best in the league so far this season. And for that reason, I will definitely be selecting Matty Cash over Diogo Dalot. Then we're into the centre halves, and this is where it gets complicated because United are without De Ligt, who would have 100% been in this combined 11. He's been absolutely outstanding so far this season. So for Aston Villa, Pau Torres is potentially available in this game, but we are unsure. Lindelof was the centre half that started last game for Villa, and Israel Konsa. I'm straight away going to put Israel Konsa in this combined 11. Then for United, we've got Shaw, Heaven, and Yoro. I'm going to put Lenny Yoro in it as well as Luke Shaw. It's not ideal. It's not a great defence, really. Yoro, Konsa, Shaw, but it's sort of the best I could do. If you add De Ligt into that, I think it becomes a lot better all of a sudden. So because of the decision to do a 3 at the back for this combined 11, the centre halves are not ideal. So then on to the left wing back for this combined 11, as we've had to play 3 at the back. And for the left wing back for United, I've once again actually gone with Dalot. You could also go with Dorgu, and for Villa, I've gone with Maatsen. Maatsen has started to become the starting fullback for Villa. Dalot, I think Dalot is crap, I'll be honest. I think he's absolutely shocking, and I can't believe he's still starting for Manchester United, especially at left wing back. I actually much prefer Dorgu on this side, and for that reason we're selecting Maatsen because Dorgu's played no minutes. I don't rate Dalot at all, so it's going to have to be Maatsen, who started to play well for Villa, and especially going forward, so he would actually suit a left wing back position. Then we've got the 2 sort of holding midfielders. And for the first ones, you've got Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes. I love to put Mainu in, or at least talk about him, but he just hasn't played enough minutes at all for Manchester United. For Villa, you've got Tielemans, who's played slightly further forward, but you could definitely justify him in sort of more of an 8 role in this midfield pairing. You've also got Kamara, and you've got Onana. I think this could be 2 for Villa. It's just which 2. I'm going to go with Tielemans and Kamara, and that is because Bruno Fernandes is going to be moving forward into a different position, because that's where I think he plays better, and I really want to have that midfield pairing of Tielemans and Kamara. I think those 2 are absolutely brilliant for Villa. To fit and healthy, it's actually one of the better midfield pairings in the league. Onana's also been very good for Villa as of recently. So then we're on to the 2 10s, and as I already said, I'm going to put Bruno Fernandes slightly further forward. This is where I think he plays better, and also I didn't want to get rid of that midfield pairing of Tielemans and Kamara. I really like Bruno Fernandes actually further forward in this sort of role. I still think there's sort of slight criticism that he gives the ball away quite a bit. But in fairness to him, when he's at his best, he gives you those massive moments, which you sort of got to allow him, I guess, to give possession away. I just prefer him to give possession away more in a sort of 10 position than in a slightly deeper midfield. But we've got to ignore the fact that he's been brilliant again this season, and he's just shown real leadership and come up with some crucial moments for Manchester United. And in the right 10, I've had to select Morgan Rogers, probably one of my favourite players in the league to watch, Morgan Rogers. I think he's absolutely outstanding. He's excellent for Villa. He's so hard working. His work rate's outstanding, but his dribbling, his ability to carry the ball, his shooting from outside the box, he's got everything, Rogers. And I think loads of clubs should be looking at signing him in the summer if Villa fail to get into Champions League again. Because I think Morgan Rogers is an outstanding 10. And I really don't think there's many more worth talking about. You could talk about your Mason Mounts, your Xerxes. You could play John McGinn there. You could play Sancho even in there. Then they do not compare to these two. One I definitely did consider is Matheus Cunha. I really did think about putting him in this 11. But that would have made me dropping Bruno Fernandes back and moving Cunha into left-handers. There was no way I wasn't playing Rodgers in this 11. And I just think this is actually a better balanced side. It's probably a better side overall. But Cunha's an outstanding player. And he will be a nomination for the striker position. But I do think I'm not going to be selecting him. I think another United striker that is worth talking about in this combined 11 is Benjamin Sesko. I think Sesko's gone underrated throughout this season. I know he's had some of his injury problems of recent, but Sesko actually offers something that I think that United have been missing in the last sort of 4 weeks. His ability to knock the ball down, really link up play well with sort of Cunha and Mbeumo. And I think when they play in those sort of left-hand, right-hand role, I think Sesko's ability to hold up the ball, win the ball in the air, and then manage to sort of find the Mbeumo's and Cunha's has really helped United, especially in that game, for example, against Brighton on the counter-attack. I thought that really worked so well, and I think when he comes back, they will look like a better side. Unfortunately, though, they have lost Brian Mbeumo for this clash away at Aston Villa. The striker I have selected for this combined 11 is Ollie Watkins. I've been a bit of a critic of Watkins in the past. I think his finishing could be better. That's what I would say about Watkins. And it was a difficult choice between Sesko, Cunha, Watkins. I don't like Cunha exactly as a number 9. I think he's better in the 10 role. So for that reason, I sort of ruled him out. For Sesko, I did have a think about it, but I think you've got to give Watkins his credit. He scored a lot of goals in the Premier League in the last couple of years. So this season, he could have been better, but he is improving as the season has gone on. I think there was just a real problem with Aston Villa overall at the start of the season. Watkins was definitely part of that, but recently Villa have really picked up as a side. And finally, we have the manager. I think this is probably the most simple discussion. It's, of course, Unai Emery, one of the best managers in the league. Ruben Amorim so far has nowhere near been good enough for Manchester United. I do think the criticism is probably a bit too high, because I just think to an extent he's still working with a lot of deficiencies in the side. For example, that midfield pairing isn't good enough yet of Bruno and Casemiro. The left wing back, whoever they play, Dorgu, Dalot, it doesn't matter, they're not good enough. That defence could still use some work in the centre halves. And there's just overall just problems that still exist at Manchester United from previous managers and problems they've had at the club. Let me know your thoughts on this combined 11. What changes would you make? And if you enjoyed this video, go subscribe to this channel as well as liking the video.